What's up, you guys? It's Matt here. So we needed to talk about something specific, and it's the 500K. Getting to 500K, I made that video, and this is more of like a follow-up to that video. There's a lot of people that didn't understand what I meant by if we have less shares, then it equals a better opportunity to get to 500K. And I can explain why, and also for you guys to make money. So I can explain why in a little bit, but before we get started, make sure you guys hit that like button. Also hit the subscribe button for more videos like this one, and make sure that you get your free stocks with Webull down below. Don't forget to check out some of the links in the description. It does help the channel out, as well as, signing up as a member or signing up for the Discord group. Now, there's a lot of people, like I said, that don't understand what I said, about having less shares. If you have less shares, if more people have less shares, then it equals a better squeeze than if less people have more shares. And let me explain why. Right now, we're looking to push for 500, 100K, 100K, 200K, 300K, 500K, right? We're looking for those large numbers that we can get to, right? Now, when you think about it, the overall situation, I'm going to try and explain this the best way that I can, and hopefully it comes across. If it doesn't, we can keep making videos on it until I get it across. But basically, we're trying to get to these numbers. And when you think about it, there's a lot of people that are holding these shares, whether it's 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, 100,000, 500,000. You have some whales that are out there. You're going to have those people that buy in with a lot of shares, hoping to double, triple, quadruple, quintuple, basically become billionaires, right? Off of one stock. Now, just understand that there are people that need to make money and people that need to lose money. Now, we understand that the hedge funds are going to lose a lot of their money. However, if there's more than that, let's say just the shorts, that's going to come across once they start covering. They haven't started covering yet. Now, what we're going to see is when it gets to a certain point, people are going to make as much money as they possibly can, the whales that have 100,000 shares, and then hedge funds are going to lose a bunch of money. But then also retail traders are going to lose a bunch of money. The people that bought in at the highest points may be at like $5,000, right? Who knows how high it's going to go before they start really covering. But when you think about this overall situation, you say, how can we possibly get to that 500K mark? Now, hopefully I can explain this well, but if people are holding that many shares, as you start to let go of that many shares, let's say people start selling on the way up, and we hope that people don't start selling on the way up, but it's inevitable. People are going to sell. There's going to be day traders and swing traders and all of that stuff, right? And people that want to cover their initial investment. Now, if they start selling on the way up, you obviously have to have people that are going to buy those shares. Now, hedge funds may be willing to buy those shares, but as more and more become available, the competition or the price negotiation becomes less and less. So if you're adding a million shares across all people that end up, maybe selling at $200, that gives the hedge funds the opportunity to buy in at $100 rather than, buying in and driving up the price to 200 or 300 or 500, even though I think they're going to start covering a lot higher than that. But this is just an example. So what we're going to need to do is just imagine it. Let's say two situations. You have 10,000 shares and you sell, 5,000 of those shares to maybe cover your initial investment or whatever. Now you have to have somebody buy those shares at, $200, which is possible. But let's say we get up to 100K, or you know what? Never mind. Let's get up to 20K, right? We need people to buy those shares, $20K for 5,000 shares. We're going to need somebody to buy those in order to keep the squeeze going. That's why it ends up being difficult if you sell 5,000 shares. Now, just imagine if you had 1,000 shares and you're looking to sell 100. It's easier to sell 100 to somebody that's excited about this position to continue to grow than it is for you to sell, 5,000. So that's the reason why it ends up being very, very complicated. So hopefully I'm explaining this the right way. Sometimes it doesn't really come across and you need visuals, but basically you have two people, one that has 10,000 shares, one that has 1,000 shares, one that's trying to sell 5,000 shares and one that's trying to sell 100 shares or 500, whatever. You're more likely to get those 100 shares filled at $20,000 than you would get those 5,000 shares filled at $20,000. So if you don't get all of those sold to some person, then that's where it ends up being very difficult to continue the squeeze. So that's why I said that if more people hold less shares, then it makes it easier for us to continue the squeeze. So this is why I always tell people, hey, if you feel any type of pressure, it's always great to be able to just cover your initial investment so you don't have to worry about it. Now, maybe you can make those moves to where we can sell a couple on the way up. If you're up in that $20,000 range and you're like, okay, I want to profit some of this, and you sell 10 shares. That's not going to be a big issue, selling 10 shares. But if someone says, you know what, I'm pulling everything out, that ends up derailing a lot of it, especially people that have thousands and thousands of shares. So just know if you're one of those whales, or you're a person that just has, 7,000 shares, 5,000 shares or whatever, just be very careful. And I mean, I know you want to make money, but you might be taking the overall situation away from other people. This is why I really only have 700 shares, and I'm looking to continue the squeeze as much as possible. And I'm not looking to gain a crazy amount from it. Obviously, a crazy amount would be, in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions. But I'm not looking to, become a billionaire off of it, because if I become a billionaire, then that means that somebody's losing money and other people are only gaining like $1,000. Like I want it to be kind of as equal as possible, and we want to take most of the money away from the hedge funds. If you're somebody that's a whale, you don't want to take a ton of money away from everyday retail traders, right? You want to, give to those people as well. So if you become a billionaire, like I said, there's some people that may end up losing money as well. So this is how we get to 500K. And I explained it in that video. I don't know if I did a great job explaining it in that video. I'm explaining it in this video. Hopefully I'm doing an okay job. But basically, the more people that we have with less shares, the better the overall situation is. If we have less people with more shares, it's not going to be the best situation. We will squeeze, but you have to pick and choose the best timing. And no way are we going to get people to just, get more people in here at lesser and lesser shares or whatever. But, we'll be able to work with what we have. And I just think that having a lesser amount of shares, if we had 80% of the stock held by retail traders, but they were all held by, people that were trading or had less than 2,000 shares, that might be a really, really good situation for the overall picture. But you're never going to be able to, convince, hey, you're a person that has, 100,000 shares and you see the stock going up. I'm convinced that if you have less, how about, we'll have a better squeeze. You're never going to convince somebody to do that. And that would be detrimental to this process right now, because that's 100,000 shares that's going to be coming out. I understand that we've had, millions and millions of shares traded. I just think we need more people with less shares. That's how I think we're going to get there. So, and that's how I think we're going to stay up in those levels for a long period of time, because we don't want to derail it. If it is going to 500K and it's up at 100K, we don't want to derail it at 100K. We want to keep it going. We want to make sure that, hedge funds learn their lesson and, we're winning in the overall situation. So let me know your opinion on this. Hopefully I explained it. I don't have any visuals for you guys today. But if you want some visuals, we can definitely break it down. I can draw it all up and show you how it looks. And when somebody ends up pulling out with a high amount of shares, how that will affect the end goal, the end stock price, and where we go from there. So let me know, seriously, let me know if you want me to do that, because I can continue this and give you the visuals and the pictures that you need. But that's my video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to get out of here, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.